Hi, my name is Stephen Brett. I work for St Mungo's, which is a charity that delivers support to homeless and rough sleeping communities across England. My work in Brighton, my role is service manager for Housing First. So I'm responsible for the delivery and oversight and development of Housing First in Brighton. The Housing First model basically works with people who have a rough sleeping history, who have experienced multiple compound needs that have contributed to their rough sleeping. And what we aim to do is offer somebody a self-contained secure tenancy alongside intensive long-term wraparound support. So we look to prevent somebody going back to rough sleeping, and we do that by seeing lots of them and providing lots of support to try and unpick and resolve a lot of the issues that caused their rough sleeping in the first place.
Thanks for that, Steve. And for several months now, we've talked about sort of celebrating sort of how we sort of collaborated at the start of the pandemic, but we really never had a chance to sort of like talk about that or reflect on that. So, could you just give your reflections now?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry it's taken so long for us to be able to do that. Well, I mean, the work that Mungo's undertook as we went into the pandemic was really focused around the Everyone In campaign, which afforded us the chance to house anybody rough sleeping in the city, irrespective of eligibility. So we were responsible for opening up several sites and took on quite a lot of hotels in Brighton and Hove, and our street outreach service engaged with rough sleeping communities to offer them accommodation. My role, aside from sort of delivering Housing First through the pandemic and supporting my team, was also to partly set up a food distribution point and hub and system, so that for the people that we did house, we could ensure that their basic needs were being met. And really, that was our first big collaboration. So we were the beneficiaries of our relationship with you, Steve, and the church on two fronts, really. We had already been renting a small office space here at the Holland Road site, and we were very fortunate to be able to use a lot more of the space here at the church to take the food in twice a day, but also welcome in volunteers. And I was here pretty much most days, I think, for a 3-month period. So we had the space to use, which was absolutely vital. Obviously the site's really central, and it meant the food could come in, volunteers could arrive, have their safety briefing, get their patch of delivery for the city. But the other big factor was the fact that we were completely reliant on people volunteering their time in order to come and do that. And we had a real big pool of volunteers, many of whom came from the church. And yes, I mean, looking back on it now, it's in some respects hard to remember, because we've sort of moved on considerably. But what I can tell you is that was a huge undertaking, and we just couldn't have done it without the space on the first level, but then to sort of open the door each day and see so many eager volunteers was just heartwarming and completely vital for that to be able to work efficiently. And of course we ended up delivering, I think, a good few 100,000 meals through that period to some of the most vulnerable people in Brighton and Hove, and really ensure that they had the opportunity to be able to isolate and survive.
Yeah. That's fantastic, Steve. And so that's a sort of a look over our shoulder a little bit of what was in the past. How about now and your relationship with Holland Road and the other churches, and going forward, how do you see that mapping out?
Yeah, so from a Housing First perspective, we have throughout this year been fortunate enough to expand the service. So we started with 8 clients, believe it or not, back in 2016, and we've now just hit 60 clients, which is fantastic, and we're going to expand further. So into next year we will be taking the service to 90 people, which is hugely exciting. And I think one of the big sort of bits of partnership work that we've done this year with regards to the expansion, so for anybody that we have offered Housing First to, anybody that we've offered the tenancy to, we've worked with yourselves and the church and the members of the church, and we've been the recipients of starter packs for our clients, which has been so vital for us because it's a big step for our clients. Often it's one that's hugely exciting for people that maybe haven't had that opportunity in their lives before, but it's also slightly double-edged in the sense that it can be quite anxiety-provoking. It's a big step. We're obviously there to support intensively, but a big part of making that successful is getting the first step right, and the first step is often making it feel like a home. So the starter packs that we've been the recipients of that have come through church donations have been utterly, vital for that first step, and it's made the life of a Housing First worker a lot easier because there's a lot of other things we need to concentrate on in terms of making sure people have the right benefits and making sure their support plans are well considered and person-centred. So that's been just so vital for our clients, but also for our workers as well, and knowing that we can get in touch to support that piece of work has been really emboldening, I think, for staff. And I know for a fact, and when I do talk to our clients, they've been really grateful for that input and that donation.
Brilliant.